So, and actually, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a clip here. This is Mo Brooks. He's a congressman in Alabama, and he's running for the Senate in Alabama, actually. This is him admitting that corruption is very prevalent in terms of who gets to hold committee seats and powerful seats in Congress, and how direct the quid pro quo is. This is quite an admission from Mo Brooks. We'll watch this clip and then come back and discuss.
Y'all are very much concerned about why our Congress is so unresponsive to the regular needs of American citizens. Why some of these policies that come out are so bizarre, so unfair, so skewered against regular Jane and Joe citizens. The reason is simple. Special interest groups run Washington. And I don't mean that metaphorically, I mean literally. Now, here is how it happens. In the House of Representatives, I'll use that as an example because that's where I work. If you want to be chairman of a major committee, you have to purchase it. And the purchase price for a major committee, say like Ways and Means, minimum bid is $1 million. Now, I'm talking literally here. I'm not talking metaphorically, okay? We have committees broken down by A group, B group, and C group. C are the cheapest, B are the most expensive, are middling, A is the most expensive. It's the most expensive because those are the committees that the special interest groups care the most about. So where does a congressman come up with $1 million to be chairman of one of these A committees? You can't get it from Joe and Jane Citizen because Joe and Jane Citizen back home, they're not going to be contributing that kind of money. They don't have it. They need that money for their own families, okay? So let me finish. And so you have to get it from the special interest groups. And with the special interest groups, there is a quid pro quo.
And with the special interest groups, there is a quid pro quo. What's probably most hilarious about that is, I might be misinterpreting this, but it's almost like when she went to interject again, and he was like, "Let me finish." The look on his face to me was almost like, "Oh, I fucked up." Like, "Oh, I just admitted that all of this is just direct corruption." Like, whoops. And then he goes on to like make it even worse. Then he goes on to say, "By the way, yeah, that money that we're taking in, we're obviously doing favors for that money. There's a quid pro quo. You don't think we just get that money, right?" Oh. How do you become a member of Congress, by the way, if you're that politically inept? Like, who doesn't know not to say that part out loud? There are 435 members in the House and 100 senators. Over 500 people know, like, you leave that part quiet. You don't tell people, like, yeah, I do favors for the big donors. Like, incredible admission from Mo Brooks, and it ties nicely in with that previous story there about tax prep companies and how they end up purchasing their billions of dollars in profits via corruption and lobbying. And it also, he mentioned the Ways and Means Committee, right? And that's what's the guy's name? Jesus, I can picture his face. It's on the tip of my tongue. He's Massachusetts. Alex Morse ran against him. Anyway, Democrat, corrupt right-wing Democrat. Ways and Means Committee has a lot of authority, you guys. It's one of the most powerful committees in Congress. Richie Neal, right? Is that right? Richie Neal? Is that anyway? Someone please correct me in the chat. Who's the Massachusetts Ways and Means Committee chair? Anyway, those kinds of committees have a great deal of say over not just what passes, but what even comes up to a vote. So when what we're being told is that costs $1 million, and you're not going to get that from your constituents, you're going to get that from special interest groups. What he's saying is that these committees have been thoroughly and completely and literally bought off by the special interest groups who have, a vested interest in buying off that committee. So the Ways and Means Committee, for example, if we wanted to bring Medicare for All up for a vote, the Ways and Means Committee is one of the committees that has to go through, right? a lot of things that have to do with spending at all have to go through the Ways and Means Committee. A lot of things that have to do with healthcare have to go through the Ways and Means Committee. So I think it is Neil, right? Is it Richie Neal? Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Has a great deal of power there. And what we just learned from Mo Brooks is that he bought that seat, right? So anyway, just quite a revealing clip there from Mo Brooks, and that ties in there with the tax prep companies.